Have you ever felt like your mom is hiding something from you? That nagging feeling that there's more to her story than she's letting on. You're not alone, and it can be tough to uncover the truth. Blessing sat on the floor of a small hut in Ghana, holding her mother's old Kent cloth. It was bright with yellow and red stripes, but it felt heavy in her hands. Her mother had died last year, and Blessing missed her soft voice and warm hugs. Tears fell from her eyes as she hugged the cloth tight. Then, something strange happened. Her fingers felt a bump in the fabric. She pulled at the threads, and they started to unravel. Her heart beat fast. What was this? A tiny piece of paper fell out, folded and old. Blessing opened it with shaky hands. Words were written in black ink. My daughter, I was a queen. I ran to save you. Blessing's eyes grew big. A queen. Her mother. She looked around the quiet hut. The wind outside howled like it knew her secret. Was this real? Her mother never talked about queens or palaces. She only cooked yam stew and sang songs. Blessing's tummy twisted with questions. Who was chasing her mother? Why did she hide? The paper felt alive, whispering danger, and Blessing wanted to know more. The next day, Blessing ran to the village square, the paper tucked in her pocket. Kids played near the big baobab tree, but she didn't join them. She watched old Nana, the storyteller, sitting by her fire. Nana knew everything. Blessing's legs shook as she walked to her. Nana, she said, was my mama a queen? Nana's eyes got sharp, like she saw a ghost. Where did you hear that, child? She asked, her voice low. Blessing showed her the paper. Nana's hands trembled as she read it. This is trouble, she whispered. Your mama was Queen Oma of the Golden Court. She ran from bad people who wanted her crown, and you. Blessing's heart jumped. Bad people. Were they still out there? Nana looked around, scared. Don't tell anyone, Blessing. They might come back. The air felt cold. Blessing hugged herself. Someone was watching her, she could feel it. That night, Blessing couldn't sleep. She lay on her mat, the Kent cloth beside her. The moon glowed through the window, but something moved outside. A shadow. She sat up, her breath fast. Was it a goat? No, it was tall, like a person. She peeked out and saw a man in a black cloak, standing by the mango tree. His eyes glowed like fire. Blessing ducked down, her heart banging loud. Who was he? She grabbed the paper and read it again. I ran to save you. Did this man know her mother's secret? Was he one of the bad people Nana talked about? The floor creaked, and Blessing froze. The shadow was closer now, right at her door. She wanted to scream, but her voice hid. Then, a soft knock came. Blessing, a deep voice said, I know what you found. Her tummy flipped. She was trapped. Blessing didn't open the door. She pushed her mat against it, her hands sweaty. Go away, she shouted. The man laughed, low and creepy. I'm Kofi, he said. Your mother sent me. Blessing stopped. Sent him. Her mother was gone. You're lying, she yelled. Kofi's voice got softer. She told me to find you if the secret came out. The court wants you, Blessing. You're the last princess. Blessing's head spun. Princess. She was just a girl who fetched water and played with sticks. I don't believe you, she said, but her voice shook. Kofi slipped something under the door, a gold ring with a tiny crown on it. This was hers, he said. Look at it. Blessing picked it up. It felt warm, like her mother's hand. Tears stung her eyes. Was Kofi telling the truth? Or was this a trick? Outside, footsteps crunched away. He was gone, but she knew he'd be back. Blessing held the ring all night, crying quiet tears. It sparkled in the morning sun, so pretty and strange. She remembered her mother's smile, her gentle hands. Could she really be a queen? Blessing put the ring on, and it fit perfectly. Then, ouch, it pricked her finger. A drop of blood fell, and the ring glowed bright gold. Blessing gasped. Words appeared inside it, tiny and clear. Find the throne, my child. Her heart raced. A throne? Where? She ran to Nana's hut, the ring hidden in her fist. Nana, look, she said, showing it. Nana's face went pale. That's the royal mark, she whispered. It means you're in danger. The court hunters are close. Blessing's tummy hurt. Hunters. Suddenly, drums beat in the distance, loud and fast. Nana grabbed her arm. They are here, she said. Blessing's world turned upside down. She had to run, just like her mother. Blessing's legs shook as Nana pulled her out the back of the hut. The drums boomed louder, like a storm chasing them. Who's coming, Nana? Blessing asked, her voice tiny. Nana's eyes were wide. The court hunters, she said. They want the princess, you. Blessing's tummy flipped. She wasn't ready to be a princess. She clutched the ring tight, its glow fading. Run to the river, Nana said, pushing her. Hide there. Blessing stumbled through the dark, tears wetting her cheeks. The village was quiet now, but the drums felt close. She tripped over a root and fell, scraping her knee. Mama, help me, she whispered, holding the kent cloth. The wind blew hard, and a bird screeched above, an eagle. It dropped a feather right by her hand. Blessing grabbed it, her heart jumping. Was Mama watching? She got up and ran faster, the river shining ahead. But then she heard boots crunching behind her. Blessing reached the river and hid behind a big rock. Her breath was loud, and her heart hurt from running. The water sparkled under the moon, but she wasn't alone. A boy stepped out, holding a stick. Who's there? He called. Blessing peeked. He looked nice, with big eyes and a friendly smile. I'm Kwesi, he said. Why are you crying? She wiped her face. Bad people are chasing me, she said. Kwesi sat by her. I'll help you, he said. Blessing showed him the ring. My mama was a queen. This says I'm a princess. Kwesi's mouth dropped. Wow. That's big. But then the bushes rustled. Blessing grabbed his arm. They are here, she whispered. Kwesi pointed across the river. There's a cave. Let's go. They splashed through the water, cold and fast. Blessing's heart raced, would they make it? A shout came from behind. The hunters were close. Blessing and Kwesi ran into the cave, water dripping from their clothes. It was dark inside, with wet walls and a funny smell. Stay quiet, Kwesi whispered, pulling her deeper. Blessing hugged the kent cloth, her teeth chattering. She heard voices outside, mean and loud. Find the girl, one said. Her tummy hurt bad. These were the hunters Nana warned her about. She squeezed Kwesi's hand, scared to cry. The ring glowed again, soft and warm. Blessing looked at it. Find the throne, it said. She showed Kwesi. What throne? He asked. I don't know, she said, tears falling. Mama left me this, but I miss her so much. Kwesi hugged her. We'll figure it out, he said. Then the cave shook, boots stomped near the entrance. Blessing held her breath. A shadow moved closer. Were they caught? A man stepped into the cave, his face hidden by a hood. Blessing and Kwesi pressed against the wall, trying not to move. I see you, little princess, he said, laughing mean. Blessing's heart stopped. How did he know? He held a lantern, its light bouncing off the wet rocks. Your mother ran, but you can't, he said. Blessing wanted to scream, but Kwesi threw a stone, plink, and it hit the wall far away. The man turned, confused. Over there, he mumbled, walking deeper into the cave. Blessing's legs shook, but Kwesi whispered, now. They ran to the entrance, fast as rabbits. Outside, the moon was bright, showing the river and trees. Blessing's tears mixed with river water on her face. He almost got us, she cried. Kwesi nodded. We need a plan. But then another shadow appeared. Kofi was back. Kofi stood by the river, his black cloak flapping in the wind. Blessing, stop running, he called. I'm here to help. Blessing froze, her heart pounding. Help? He scared her last time. Kwesi pulled her back. Don't trust him, he said. But Kofi held up his hands, no weapons. Your mother was my friend, he said. She told me to keep you safe. Blessing's eyes stung with tears. Then why did you scare me? She asked. Kofi stepped closer. I had to make sure you're strong, he said. The hunters want your ring. It leads to the throne. Blessing looked at the gold band. What throne? She asked. Kofi's face got soft. Your mama's palace, hidden in the hills. You're the queen now. Blessing's tummy flipped. Queen. Ah. She wanted mama, not a crown. But then the drum started again, boom, boom, boom. Kofi's eyes got wide. They're coming. Run with me, he said. Blessing's legs burned as she ran with Kwesi and Kofi. The drums pounded behind them, loud and scary. Where are we going? She asked, her voice shaky. Kofi pointed to the dark hills ahead. The palace is there, your mama's hiding place, he said. Blessing's heart jumped. The palace. She pictured mama smiling in a big, shiny house. But the hunters' yells got closer, and her tears fell fast. Would they catch her first? The ground was bumpy, full of rocks and thorns. Blessing tripped, and the Kent cloth slipped from her hands. No, she cried, grabbing it quick. Kwesi helped her up, his eyes big. Keep going, he said. Kofi ran ahead, waving them on. The hills looked far, and the night was cold. Blessing hugged the cloth tight, whispering, Mama, I'm trying. Then a sharp whistle caught the air, an arrow flew past her head. Blessing ducked, her heart banging like a drum. The arrow stuck in a tree, shaking. They are shooting. Kwesi yelled, pulling her down. Kofi turned, his face mad. Stay low, he shouted, grabbing a stick to fight. Blessing peeked through the grass. 3 hunters ran toward them, bows in their hands. Their cloaks were black, and their eyes mean. Give us the ring, girl, one growled. Blessing's tummy hurt. She wouldn't let them take Mama's gift. Kofi swung his stick, hitting a hunter's arm. Run to the hill, he told Blessing. She grabbed Kwesi's hand, and they crawled fast. Tears stung her eyes. Mama ran from these people too. The ring glowed hot on her finger, like it was mad. Then she heard a scream. Kofi fell, an arrow in his leg. Go, he yelled. Blessing sobbed. Was he hurt bad? She didn't want to leave him. Blessing and Kwesi reached the hill, their breaths loud and fast. Kofi's yells faded behind them, and the drum stopped. Is he okay? Blessing cried, looking back. Kwesi hugged her. He's tough. We have to hide, he said. The hill was steep, with big rocks and twisty trees. Blessing's ring glowed brighter, pointing to a bush. Look, she said, pushing the leaves. A tiny path opened up, dark and narrow. They squeezed in, the path winding down like a snake. Blessing's heart hurt for coffee, but she kept going. The Kent cloth brushed the dirt, and she held it high. "Mama, show me," she whispered. The air got cool, and the path ended at a stone wall. Blessing touched it, and, click, the wall moved. A secret door. Her eyes got big. Was this the palace? But then footsteps echoed behind them. The hunters weren't done. The stone door creaked open, and Blessing pulled Kwesi inside. It slammed shut behind them, locking out the hunters' shouts. They were in a big room, dark but sparkly. Gold walls shone under dust, and a throne sat in the middle, tall and grand. Blessing's mouth dropped. "Mama's throne," she whispered, tears falling. She ran to it, touching the smooth wood. It felt warm, like Mama was there. Kwesi looked around, amazed. "You're a queen now," he said. But Blessing shook her head. "I just want Mama," she sobbed. The ring glowed again, and a voice, soft and sweet, came from the throne. "My Blessing," it said. Blessing froze. "Mama," she asked. The voice laughed gently. "I'm with you, always." Blessing's heart filled up, but then the wall shook, bang. The hunters were breaking in. Blessing jumped as the wall cracked, dust falling everywhere. "They're coming!" Kwesi yelled, looking for a way out. Blessing ran to the throne, hugging it tight. "Mama, help us," she cried. The ring burned hot, and the throne glowed gold. The floor rumbled, and a trapdoor opened under their feet. Whoosh, they fell into a tunnel, sliding fast. Blessing held the Kent cloth, her tummy flipping. They landed soft on a pile of leaves, deep underground. The tunnel was dark, but the ring lit the way. "What happened?" Kwesi asked, brushing dirt off. Blessing smiled through tears. "Mama saved us," she said. The voice came again, faint. "Find my crown, Blessing." A crown. Her heart beat fast. But above, the hunters' voices growled through the trapdoor. "She's down there," one shouted. Blessing grabbed Kwesi. They had to move, now. Blessing and Kwesi ran through the tunnel, the ring glowing like a tiny sun. Dirt walls brushed their shoulders, and the hunters' shouts echoed behind them. "Faster!" Kwesi said, his voice shaky. Blessing's legs hurt, but she wouldn't stop. The Kent cloth flapped in her hand, and Mama's voice whispered, "Keep going, my girl." Tears wet her cheeks. She missed Mama so much, but she felt her close. The tunnel twisted, and a light shone ahead, bright and yellow. "An exit!" Blessing cried. But then a hunter's hand grabbed her ankle. She screamed, kicking hard. Kwesi threw dirt in the man's face, and he let go, coughing. They stumbled out into sunlight, blinking fast. Tall grass waved around them, hiding them for now. Blessing's heart pounded. "We are free," she said. But Kwesi pointed. More hunters ran from the hill, bows ready. Blessing dropped to her knees, pulling Kwesi into the grass. "Stay down," she whispered. The hunters' boots stomped close, their voices mean. "She's here somewhere," one growled. Blessing held the ring tight. It stopped glowing, like it was hiding too. Her tummy twisted. Would Mama's magic save them again? She picked up and saw a hunter with a scar on his face. He looked right at her spot. Kwesi squeezed her hand. "Don't move," he said, his eyes big. Blessing nodded, tears falling quiet. She wanted to hug Mama and feel safe. Then Scarface stepped closer, his bow raised. Blessing held her breath. Crack, a twig snapped under his foot. He stopped, looking down. That's when the ground shook, and a net flew up from the grass, trapping him. Blessing gasped. Mama did that, she said, smiling through tears. The other hunters yelled, running to free Scarface. Blessing and Kwesi crawled away, hearts racing. We need the crown, Blessing said, remembering Mama's words. But where? Kwesi asked. The ring glowed again, pointing to a big tree with red flowers. Blessing ran to it, digging at the roots. Her hands got muddy, and tears mixed with dirt. Mama, show me, she begged. Her fingers hit something hard, a box. She pulled it out, small and gold. Inside was a crown, sparkly with jewels. Blessing's eyes got wide. Mama's crown, she whispered, putting it on. It felt heavy but right. The ring sang, ding, and Mama's voice came loud. You're strong, Blessing. Claim your place. Blessing sobbed, happy and sad. But then arrows flew, zip, zip, landing near her feet. The hunters were back. Blessing ducked, clutching the crown. Kwesi pulled her behind the tree as arrows stuck in the back. Give us the crown, princess. Scarface yelled, free from the net. His face was red, mad as fire. Blessing shook her head. It's mine. Mama gave it to me, she shouted, tears falling. The hunters laughed, mean and loud. You're no queen, another said, aiming his bow. Kwesi threw a rock, hitting a hunter's hand. Run, he said. Blessing held the crown tight and bolted, the Kent cloth flapping. The ring glowed hot, and the ground shook again, crack, a big hole opened, swallowing 2 hunters. Blessing's heart jumped. Mama's helping, she cried. But Scarface jumped a hole, his eyes locked on her. He was fast, too fast. Would she lose everything now? Blessing ran to a river, wide and rushing. Kwesi panted beside her, and Scarface's boots stomped close. Jump in, Kwesi said. Blessing hugged the crown and cloth, scared. I can't swim good, she cried. But Scarface roared, you're mine, and she had no choice. She jumped, the cold water hugging her tight. Kwesi grabbed her hand, pulling her along. The current was fast, swirling them away. Blessing's tears mixed with river splashed. Mama, don't let me drown, she begged. The crown glowed, and a log floated by, perfect to hold. They climbed on, shivering. Scarface stood on the bank, yelling mad words. Blessing smiled a little. We got away, she said, hugging Kwesi. But the river turned sharp, oh, a waterfall roared ahead. Blessing screamed as the log tipped over the waterfall. Water roared in her ears, and she hugged the crown tight. Kwesi held her hand, his face scared but brave. Hold on, he shouted. Down they went, splash, into a big pool below. Blessing's head went under, bubbles everywhere. She kicked hard, and the ring glowed, pulling her up. She popped out, coughing, the Kent cloth still with her. Kwesi swam over, wet and grinning. We are alive, he said. Blessing wiped her eyes, tears mixing with river water. Mama saved us again, she whispered, looking at the crown. It sparkled, even wet. The pool was quiet, trees all around, but then a shadow moved on the cliff above. Scarface. He pointed down, yelling to more hunters. Blessing's heart sank. They won't stop, she cried. Kwesi pulled her to the shore, time to run again. Blessing and Kwesi ran into the forest, trees tall and thick. The crown bumped her head, but she wouldn't drop it. Where do we go? She asked, her voice wobbly. Kwesi looked back. Away from them, he said. The hunter's shouts faded, but Blessing's legs shook. She missed Mama's hugs, her soft songs. The ring glowed, pointing deeper into the woods. Mama's showing us, she said, tears falling. They found a big tree with a hole at the bottom. In here, Kwesi said, crawling inside. Blessing squeezed in, the crown scraping back. It was dark and cozy, like a hug. She held the Kent cloth, whispering, "Mama, are we safe?" The ring stopped glowing, and the forest went quiet. Blessing smiled a little. But then, snap, a twig broke outside. Her heart jumped. Someone was near. Blessing held her breath as footsteps crunched closer. Kwesi peeked out. "It's not a hunter," he whispered. An old woman stepped up, her hair white and her stick tapping the ground. "Who's hiding?" she asked, her voice kind. Blessing crawled out, shaky. "I'm Blessing," she said. "Bad men want my crown." The woman's eyes got big. "A crown? Like Queen Oma's?" she asked. Blessing nodded, showing it. "My mama was the queen," she said, tears spilling. The woman smiled soft. "I'm Ya. I helped your mama run long ago." Blessing's tummy flipped. "You knew her?" she asked. Ya nodded. "She loved you so much, hid you from the court." Blessing sobbed, hugging the crown. But then shouts came, "Hunters!" Ya grabbed them. "Follow me, quick," she said. Danger was back. Ya led them fast through the trees to a tiny hut covered in vines. "Inside," she said. Blessing and Kwesi jumped in, and Ya pulled a curtain shut. The hut smelled like flowers and wood. Blessing hugged the Kent cloth, her heart racing. "Will they find us?" she asked. Ya shook her head. "This place is secret. Your mama built it." Blessing's eyes got wide. "Mama's hut." She looked around, pots, blankets, a little door. "Mama was here?" she asked, tears falling. Ya nodded. "She stayed until you were born, then ran again." Blessing touched the doll, feeling Mama close. The ring glowed, and Mama's voice whispered, "You're my brave girl." Blessing smiled, but then the hut shook, bang, something hit the door. Kwesi gasped. "They're here," he said. Ya's face turned hard. "Not yet," she said, grabbing a stick. The door banged again, and Scarface's voice growled, "Open up, old lady." Blessing's tummy hurt bad. Ya stood tall, stick ready. "Go away," she shouted. Blessing hid behind Kwesi, clutching the crown. The hunters laughed, mean and loud. "We want the princess," Scarface said. Blessing shook her head. "I'm not giving it," she cried, tears hot on her face. Ya swung her stick as the door broke, crack, hitting Scarface's arm. He yelled, falling back. "Run out the back," Ya said. Blessing and Kwesi bolted through a tiny hole, hearts pounding. The forest was dark, but the ring lit their way. Blessing sobbed, "Mama, help Ya." The crown glowed, and a big wind blew, whoosh, knocking hunters down. Blessing smiled through tears. They were free, for now. But where to next?